screens theme. This tutorial is dedicated to screens, and you are going to learn what screens are and how to configure screens for your project using screen configuration theme. In this tutorial, we're going to have a look at issue screens. In our project settings page, we should go to the screens, click on it, and it will bring us to the screens configuration page. First, let's understand what screens are. A screen is a mechanism to define how your issue will look like for the end user. What screen does, it simply groups different fields and organizes them for presentation to the user. For example, let's open any issue. When we open an issue, what we see here is the view screen of the issue. We see different fields like type that shows the issue type of the issue, priority, labels. Here we see assignee, reporter, and so on. All these fields are being organized in something abstract called screen. And this is what we see here is issue view screen. If we click here the edit button, it will bring us to the other screen called edit screen, which could have different fields or could have fields ordered in a different way. If we click here on button create and try to create a new issue, the first thing what we will see here is the create screen, which can also combine different fields or fields in different order. And screens allow you to control what fields are being displayed to the user during different issue operations, which we could see like create or edit issue. And as it was also said before, they also allow us to order fields. Let's look how you do it in practice when you manage your project. Let's go back here to our project configuration and select, here's the screens, right? We have done it already. And here we can pick up one of these three screens, create issue, view issue. So let's open, for example, create issue screen. As you can see, we get here a list of different issues that will be displayed here on create issue screen. But sometimes when we create an issue, we don't have all the necessary information, so we don't need all the fields. Let's delete this unnecessary field, for example, like labels, or we don't know, for example, priority or time tracking. Let's leave only maybe assignee, summary, issue type. We don't need maybe even reporter, security level. We need attachments, descriptions. Let's delete all these fields to make it visible what we have changed. So we have left only three fields here on create issue screen for our project called Pact, right? So now when we go back to our JIRA and try to create an issue, our issue screen will look totally different from our initial screen that we have here, that I had opened for you. It has only three fields: issue type, assignee, or summary. What you can also do, you can change the order of the fields, putting issue type, for example, first, summary second, and assignee third. So now when I try to create a new issue, it will have a different order. So I have here issue type, assignee, summary, and here I have issue type, summary, assignee. Let's go back to our project configuration, and here on the screens configuration page, let's go now to the view screen and open it in a new tab. We see here that we have quite some different fields associated with this screen, and when this list of fields gets long, it becomes not very practical for user, because the user has then to scroll through the issue to find the information that he or she wants to see. And you will probably want to organize this information in different, more user-friendly way. And JIRA allows you to do it by creating a tab and organizing these fields in tabs. So here I just clicked on the plus button and here entered any name for the new tabs that I want to create. Here I can place all the fields that I want to display in a different tab. So for instance, I want to place here on this tab some custom field called number and display it here. Let's see how it looks on the issue view. So let's go back to our issue and we see here that so far there is no tab, and it happens because JIRA doesn't display custom fields which are empty, and our number field was empty for this issue. So to be able to display it, what we need to do, we need, or rather edit issue and click update to make the tab appear, or we need to change the value of the number custom field. As you can see on the edit issue, we have this tab called my tab, but now when we click update, it will also appear. We need to fill in first the custom field on this tab, number, with some number, for example 1, 2, 3, update, and when we fill the custom field with some value, the tab appears. If we leave this number empty, the tab will not appear because, as I said before, JIRA doesn't display empty custom fields, and if custom field is not being displayed, the tab is also not being displayed. Another interesting thing about JIRA is that some fields, like assignee for example, we cannot add them on a separate tab. Like here, let's delete it for example from here, add assignee here, add, try to refresh the page and go back to assignee. We will not be able to display some system fields like assignee or reporter in any other place than here. Even if though if we wanted to place like here, we could do it on the screen, but we won't be able to place assignee in our separate tab. And this is the limitation provided by Atlassian. So this is what is not possible to do. Let's go back to our project configuration and get familiar with such an important concept which is called issue type screen scheme. You already know that each issue has some issue type. Like we could see here, for example, issue can be a bug, or issue can be an epic or a task, or any other custom issue types that we had created, like my issue type, right? So the issue type screen scheme is the scheme that defines which screens belong to which issue type. In the example of this project, here we could see that we have 6 issue types that are associated with the same screens. The same screen for create issue, for edit issue, and for view issue. But this is not necessary. You can define different screens for different issue types so that your issues of different issue type hold different information. And this is what you do through the so-called issue type screen scheme. So if we click here, for example, open it in a new tab, we see that here, for example, we have only create issue as a separate scheme, and all other screens using by default this edit view screen. Or what we can do, we can associate an issue operation with different screen. Here we can click this button and, for example, provide a view issue and select one of the predefined screens. So let's first create a screen. Let's go to view screens and let's create a new screen called my screen, add it, And here we can add some fields. Let's add here our, for example, number field, right? And other tab. Other tab will add some grid. This is a custom field, which I have. You probably might not have it, but it doesn't matter what kind of field you add to this tab. We're just doing this for demonstration purposes. And here we can add number, like we have here number, and here we have some grid, right? So we have already a screen with 2 tabs, and each tab has a custom field. We have here my screen, so we go to screen schemes and going to add screen scheme, my screen. Now let's add it. My screen, and associate an issue operation with the screen. Let's do it, and let's do it view issue, and it will be my screen. Let's add it. Issue type screen schemes. Here, add issue type screen scheme. My screen scheme. My issue type screen scheme. Add it. All right. Default my screen scheme. Now we can go back to our back project, go to the configurations, find screens, and here we can create issue. Okay, we still have default, associate an issue, view issue, and associate my screen. Let's do add. Okay, so now we have created my screen, and we have associated through scheme this my screen with our view issue operation. So now when check it. Okay, good. Update issue type screen pack project manager issue type screen. This is pack project. Okay, default. Okay, this is where we are defining issue types relationship with different schemes. So let's associate an issue type with some scheme. Let's create, for example, a story with my screen scheme and add it. And here, pack project default scheme. So what's here? We're gonna delete this. It was wrong. So what I want to show you, what we have just done, we have created a new screen here. This screen, as you remember, it has 2 tabs, one with number, one with some grid. Then we went to the screen schemes. In the screen schemes, we chose what screens are related to which issue operation. So what we have done here, we have associated my screen with view issue operation. Okay, I don't like that this is by default. Used by one project, packed project. All right. Let's make a default screen for demonstration. View issue is my screen. Okay. Yeah, it could be a bit confusing. Sometimes I have to spend some time myself to understand what's up, but it's normal for JIRA. JIRA is very complicated in configurations, but only because of its flexibility and the enormous amount of features that it has. And in issue type screen schemes, we chose here my issue type script scheme and made that all unmapped issue types are related with our my screen scheme, right? So now when we go to our project configurations here, let's refresh it. We see that pack management screen scheme, which is default, has like bug epic attacks. It has one kind of view screens. So now if we create a task, for example, right? My task, I will have here like normal view, right? But if I go here and create a story, quite long, my story with different issue type screen scheme, I have a different view of the issue because I'm using here a different view screen. So let's compare it one more time. We have here a field tab with number 1, and here we have different fields like batch team, reports team. My tab is the same, and here's other tab. So you could see how you can manipulate the views of your issues by using screens and associating screens with different operations such as edit issue, view issue, create issue. Can be also transition screen, that's screens that you can put in some transition. You can also manipulate views of the issues by associating screens with some separate issue types through the issue type screen schemes. So I advise you to play a little bit with screens and different screen configurations to be able to understand it better yourself. Because it could look very complicated at the first glance, but when you start working with it, you get into it and you start understanding a bit better. In the next tutorial, we are going to discover fields configuration scheme.